Today we'll be covering questions from motorizzazione direttly. Question number 1. Il segnale raffigurato è un segnale di divieto. The question says this sign is a sign of divieto. And if you remember this sign, this is a sign of dare precedenza negli sensi unici alternati, which simply means you need to give right to the vehicles coming from the opposite direction, which is falso. Question number 2. Il segnale raffigurato vieta la circolazione ai veicoli muniti di pneumatrici con spessore da battistrada inferiore a 3 mm. The answer to this question is falso. Question number 3. Il segnale raffigurato obbliga ad arrestarsi per dare la precedenza solo ai veicoli provenienti da destra. Guys, the question says, this sign tells you to wait and give right to only vehicles coming from the right side of the road, which is falso, because this is a sign of stop, telling you at that juncture you need to give right to the both sides, either left or right. Question number 4. Il segnale raffigurato indica che è consentito passare sia a destra che a sinistra della striscia continua. The answer to this question here is falso, because the question says this sign tells you that you can pass either left or right, crossing on top of a continuous line, which is falso, because this is a sign telling you the only two directions you need to go is either left or right. Question number 5. Il segnale raffigurato preannuncia lo sbocco della strada su argine di un canale. So the question is letting you know this sign tells you to pay attention because there will be water on the other side of the road, which is vero. Question number 6. Il segnale raffigurato è posto in corrispondenza della fine del percorso riservata da circolazione mista di pedoni e di ciclisti. The question said this sign is placed on the end of that road made for both bicycle and foot, which is vero. Question number 7. Il segnale raffigurato preannuncia il divieto di inversione di marcia. Falso. Inversione di marcia simply means you are turning back. And the question says this sign prohibits inversione di marcia, which is falso. Question number 8. In presenza del segnale raffigurato è vietato il sorpasso nel tratto in discesa. The question says this sign prohibits you from overtaking a vehicle if you are descending from the hill, which is false. So this sign does not prohibit overtaking a vehicle when you are descending from the hill. This is just a sign of doors, so telling you there is an ascent followed by a descent. Question number 9. Il segnale raffigurato obbliga ad andare diritto o svoltare a destra. The answer to this question here is falso, because the question says this sign tells you to go straight or turn right, which is falso, because this is a sign of preavviso di svoltare a destra. This sign is telling you that at the next junction you need to turn right. Question number 10. Il segnale raffigurato preannuncia un tratto di strada dove non si può circolare ad oltre 30 km/h. Falso. The question says this sign tells you that part of the road where you can't drive higher than 30 km/h, which is falso. Number 11. Il segnale raffigurato vieta la svolta a sinistra all'incrocio. The question says this sign prohibits you from turning left, which is falso. Question number 12. Il segnale raffigurato vieta in transito ai veicoli che trasportano esplosivi. The question says this sign prohibits the passage of vehicles carrying loads that can explode, which is false, because this sign only tells you if you are driving on this part of the road, you are not allowed to throw cigarettes or anything fire out of your vehicle, because this part of the road can easily be set on fire. Question number 13. Il segnale raffigurato preannuncia un bivio per aeroporto, which is falso. Question number 14. Il segnale raffigurato preannuncia un attraversamento ferroviario senza barriere. The question says this sign is referring to a train line without barrier, which is false, because this sign is referring to a semaforo. Question number 15. Il segnale raffigurato preannuncia un tratto di strada con pavimentazioni irregolari. The answer to this question here is false. The question says if you come across this sign, it simply means you are driving on that part of the road that is in a bad condition, which means there are potholes on the road, which is false because this is a sign of cunetta. Question number 16. Il segnale raffigurato è un segnale di prescrizioni. The question says this is a prescription sign. The answer to this question here is vero. Prescription signs are those signs that actually tells you what to do on the road. And when it comes to this sign here, this sign tells you that you have precedenza on that road you are driving on. 17. Il segnale raffigurato preannuncia un incrocio in cui si deve dare precedenza a destra. Vero. The question says this sign tells you that you are at that junction where you need to give right to the vehicle coming from the right side of the road, which is vero. 18. Il segnale raffigurato è posto prima dello sbocco in una piazza con circolazione rotatoria. So the question is letting you know that this sign is placed on a roundabout. It's referring to a roundabout. And if you are used to this sign, you know before you get to this sign, there will be a sign telling you in time that you are close to a roundabout. Question number 19. Il segnale raffigurato indica che la strada non gode più diritto di precedenza. So if you are driving and you come across this sign, it simply means you don't have precedenza anymore. And the question is letting you know the road you are driving on, you don't have precedenza anymore, so you need to give right to the vehicle coming from the right side of the road, which is vero. Question number 20. Il segnale raffigurato può essere usato senza pannelli integrativi per indicare un pericolo generico in caso di emergenza. So the question says this sign can be used on its own to tell you that there is an emergency danger on that part of the road, which is vero. Remember, this sign is a sign of pericolo generico, which means general danger. It can be the road is bad. It can be there is a tram track. It can be there is an accident, but they can use this sign for different types of danger. Number 21. Il segnale raffigurato consente la svolta a sinistra al prossimo incrocio. The question says, this sign allows you to turn left at the next junction, which is false because this is confluenza da sinistra, telling you that vehicles will be entering the main road from the left side of the road. 22. In presenza del segnale raffigurato non è consentito sorpassare altri veicoli su una carreggiata a doppio senso di circolazione con due solo corsie. Vero. The question is letting you know, if you come across this sign, it's not allowed or advisable for you to overtake another vehicle if the road is just due corsia, which is 2 lane, and doppio senso di circolazione. Doppio senso di circolazione simply means you are going one direction and there will be another vehicle coming from the opposite direction, which is vero. 23. In segnale raffigurato lungo le autostrade viene posto a distanza maggiore di 150 metri. The answer to this question is falso. The question says this sign in autostrada you will find it in 150 meters away, which is falso. Il segnale raffigurato indica che la corsia disponibile diventano 2. The answer to this question here is falso, because the question says this sign indicates that the lane you are driving on will now be 2 lanes. Let's say you are driving in 1 lane before, so the lane will now be 2, which is falso because this is a sign of obbligo, telling you that the only 2 directions you can go is either left or straight. 25. In segnale raffigurato consenta la circolazione ai veicoli che procedono a velocità uguale o superiore a quella indicata. So the question is letting you know, if you see this sign, it allows the passage of vehicles driving on either the same 30 or higher than 30 km/h, which is vero because this is minima velocità. So it means you can't go lower. You can only drive 30 or higher because this is the minimum speed limit you can drive on that road. 26. Il segnale raffigurato è un segnale di obbligo. Vero, like we say, segnale di obbligo. If you don't understand segnale di obbligo, I already have a video on that in this channel. Segnale di obbligo have circular shape, blue or white color in them, so it's vero. Il segnale raffigurato indica un divieto di sosta per le biciclette. The answer to this question here is falso because the question says this sign is a prohibition sign which prohibits bicycles from parking, which is falso. 28. In presenza del segnale raffigurato è necessario fare attenzione al restringimento della carreggiata. Guys, remember, restringimento della carreggiata simply means the road will now be narrow. And the question says, if you see this sign, you should pay attention because the road is narrow, which is falso because this is a sign of strada deformata, which tells you that part of the road there is potholes or the road is in a bad condition. So the answer to this question here is falso. 29. In presenza del segnale raffigurato e del semaforo a 3 luci, dobbiamo dare la precedenza anche se il semaforo è a luce verde. The question is, if you're driving and you come across this sign and there's a traffic light there, we still need to give precedenza even though the traffic light is on green, which is false. So remember, if the traffic light is on green, it means we need to pass. The last one. Il segnale raffigurato preannuncia un segnale di obbligo di svoltare a sinistra per tutti gli autocarri. The answer to this question here is false. So the question says this sign tells you, or this sign gives obligation for all autocarri to turn left, which is false. So merely looking at this sign, you see the sign is pointing towards the right direction, letting you know that at the next junction, autocarri need to go towards the right direction, not the left. So this one is false. So that is all. Watch this video here which covers 30 questions from motorizzazione directly, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.